let's talk Doomtree. Good day, simpletons. Eli here. And I'm about ready to talk about an album I should have talked about days ago. My weekend was a little busy. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. But we're here to talk about P.O.S.'s new album, Chill Dummy. My hair looks like trash because I had a hat on. Whatever. P.O.S. has been around for quite a long time. 2004, he started releasing music. He's one of the founders of the Doomtree collective. Him and Cecil Loudon are the original two that are left, I think. And he is also kind of their figurehead and the most popular, through the fact that he had to deal with Rhymesayers for a long time and was releasing albums with them before Doomtree even put out their first collaborative project. If you don't know who Doomtree are, they are 7 of the most magical people in the history of the planet. The point of the joke here, come here. The joke is I'm a super fan of Doomtree. That's the joke. I got into Doomtree in 2015 through the fantastic fucking album All Hands, which is my favorite album of 2015. Just had its 2-year anniversary. I meant to review it, totally forgot. My bad. I do plan on reviewing it at some point because I love that album so much that I need to share how I feel about it with the world. And after that, I dived into some of their early projects like No Kings, and then I dived into all of their solo works. And my ranking list of my favorite people from Doomtree, excluding Papertag and Laserbeak, both fucking fantastic producers, but I'm talking about MCs here. I would have to go Dessa first because it's Dessa. If you haven't listened to a Dessa project, pause this video, go listen to the song Call Off Your Ghosts, and then Warsaw, and come back to me. I'll wait. 2, Cecil Loudon. Kyle Smith is a fucking incredible MC. Great producer too. Wish he'd done more on All Hands. Anyway. And P.O.S. would be my 3rd favorite. Then followed by Sims, and then rounding out the list, Mike McLawn. And that's not to say any of them are bad in any way, shape, or form. That's just how I would list them in terms of my favorite. P.O.S. also has a distinction of being the only one I've listened to his entire discography, excluding Ipecac Neat. So I listened to Audition, his first one on Rhymesayers. Loved it. Listened to Never Better. Loved it. Listened to We Don't Even Live Here, loved it. Even though it was a huge change of direction sonically than Never Better and Audition. Though my favorite of his albums would have to be Never Better, which I do have a physical copy of. I love that album so much. The instrumentation on that album is so minimalist, but so fucking incredible. Again, not saying Audition and We Don't Even Live Here are bad. Both of those have fantastic tracks on them. Especially the very dancey Get Down on We Don't Even Live Here, and the beautifully punk, angsty song P.O.S. is Ruining My Life from Audition. Needless to say, I was excited about this album, as I am any Doomtree project. No matter who puts an album out, I will always listen. Yeah, I'm a little obsessed. Sorry, hear us. So how did I feel about P.O.S.'s new album, Chill Dummy? Opening this album up, we have Born a Snake, which to me sounds the most like something that would have came off of Audition. I quite enjoy this track. I love the beat, guitar heavy, drum heavy, the most punk I think this album gets in terms of the instrumentation. And again, I don't think it would be out of place on Audition, but with less fuzz, because it is a very fuzzy track. When it comes to P.O.S.'s flow, he's very strange. He's not your typical rapper. Then again, no one on Doomtree is. But P.O.S. has very interesting flows, and this track is no exception. I also love when he sings, and the sounds great on this track. The whole chorus of this track is fucking excellent to me. Yeah, it's a good, hard-hitting way to start the album. Now, Wearing a Bear, he had released before the album came out, and I wasn't a huge fan of it. I like it a lot more here. I do love the beat. The drumming on the beat is beak beat, as P.O.S. says opening the track. And there's some fantastic synth lines a few minutes in that just come in and they're heavy and fuzzy and oh, it just sounds so good. I love the way P.O.S. raps on here too. The shit he says is fucking awesome. Hashtags Black Lives, some of y'all different. Some of y'all don't give a shit. Some of y'all thought racism was over because the president was black. Or the part where and I just figured this out through my last listen. I was like, oh, that's fucking funny. He says, I'm not candy, but if you got some, then skittle up my tiger mitt, as in puts him in my hand. And then he says, in the spot wearing a bear, I am Revenant, which is funny as fuck to me. I haven't even seen that movie, but I've heard nothing but good things. One thing he says at the end of this track that I love, he goes, when I die, I'll get a hashtag, ain't shit better. Hashtag RIP P.O.S. It's a fair point. Up next, we get another very percussion-led beat on the song Bully, featuring Rapper Hooks and Moncleus Boston. I'm really sorry if I mispronounced that. This track I do quite enjoy. I love the bridge, I love the hook, and Moncleus to me, he kind of sounds like Andre 3000. Not saying he's in the same wheelhouse as Andre, but he sounds a lot like him to me. I love the way he opens his verse. He says, I rap gunfire, every bar is a bullet. Sick fucking line. And he flows really nice over the track. Again, very percussion-led with very light bass in the background and the occasional synth line. But really, this track, what hammers it is the percussion. I love the way that Moncrief ends his first verse as well. He says, "Whoever thought my mom's unprotected sex could turn into a monster?" And then this weird little breakdown part where him and P.O.S. are just kind of talking. P.O.S. goes, "They're fucking taking your cookies!" He goes, "Fucking nerd." They're bullies, get it? P.O.S. comes in, says, "Show them my Death Squad marijuana snacks," which is a reference to his group. It's my favorite line in his first verse. The rest of his verse isn't that eventful. When he gets to the hook, like I said, "Make noise, take toys, shovel face, bully." And the fun part about the hook, and they do this on the other song they're on together as well, is him and Moncrief trade lines on the hook, and it sounds really, really fucking good. And then Monty has a second verse, but then after his verse, there's this wickedly, it's kind of a subtle beat change, but this descending synth line comes in and the percussion gets a little airier, and in comes rapper hook, and it sounds like he phoned his verse in because it's all fuzzy and it sounds like it's coming through a phone receiver, but it sounds fucking incredible anyway. He doesn't really say much on his verse. That P.O.S. ends the track out and he says something I really like. He says, "Fuck a gutter, gutter fucker, twist a knife and leave it in." Love that line. And he says here, "Seeping in your middle daughter's creases bent, beat it till she's sleeping in." What? Don't ever throw a hat off and then expect your hair to look nice. I just don't like wearing hats. Sue me. Up next we have a love song. Kind of. Faded. I love the beat on this. It's the most never better, I think, the album gets. The percussion's there, sounds great. My favorite part on this track is the bass line. I think the bass line anchors the track so fucking beautifully. It just sounds so fucking good. And my favorite part of this track, even though the verses are great, Justin Vernon sounds great on the "I need more" part, as does the Lady Midnight person who also comes in. But my favorite part of this track is when P.O.S. sings the bridge. "Slow down, promise if you do I'll stick around." Because, in my opinion, him and Cecil Lauder, next to Dessa, have the best singing voices in Doomtree. Dessa, of course, sounds way better than them. Sorry, guys. But their voices are very good. P.O.S. doesn't, really try to throw his vocals out there. He's always more restrained when he sings because he knows he doesn't have the best register. But I think he uses his singing voice quite well. His second verse, I think, is the highlight as well in terms of verses. "Trust is fleeting, she could be that demon eating, leaving me wide open, bleeding, torn apart." Love that line. "Ache to love and build to lust," I also quite enjoy. But yeah, maybe it's the nostalgia since this kind of made me feel like a never better track. I do quite enjoy this one. Probably to this point my favorite on the album. Of course, that's until we get to Pieces Ruins. This song starts the obsession this album has with kind of trap-flavored percussion, heavy hi-hats, and a pounding little bass drum. The hi-hats, by the way, sound fucking awesome. This track has a really nice spacey instrumental. Very light synth organ in the background. And these occasional bleeps and bloops that come in and weird vocal effects and vocal ad-libs that just sound really nice. I love how ethereal the chorus is here. The echoey vocals and the pitch shifting. Very light pitch shifting, but it's there. And this might be my favorite P.O.S. verse on the entire fucking album. I love the line he opens it with. "Same dude, new guts. Literal and figurative. Lost a couple fucks. Alright, shit, fine, alright, I gave him. Came a long way to play the cooler than a weight game." Fucking awesome. This whole verse, I don't want to spoil too much of this verse because he just flows. This is my favorite kind of flow from P.O.S. and he just goes and goes and it just sounds so good. I love the hook too. "My hood ain't the same no more. My people say no more. All that I've ever loved has been left in ruins." Why Now Rollin', the second artist on this track. I've never heard it before and his verse is actually pretty good. I love the way he flows and I love the part in his verse where he gets really aggressive and he goes, "Take a gamble when my life was in shambles, I never lose." That part sounds fucking awesome. And again, his verse is alright. And unfortunately though, do I know, even though your verse was good, you have P.O.S. before you, and then following you, fucking Bus Driver. Sorry, man. Bus Driver on here. I had no fucking idea he was on this track. I was listening to it at work. It's the first time I heard it. And then all of a sudden I heard, "Yes, sir." And I was like, oh, I know that voice. And he comes in, "From the Tippy. Yes, sir." And I was like, yes! Yes! I always get pumped when Bus Driver's on a track. Miss him. Bus, album soon, please? Bus Driver fucking kills this track. Best feature on the album, hands down. Bus? It's so fucking complex. Oh my god. Here, hang on. I gotta read this exactly. I don't want to give too much of his verse away because it's that fucking good. You should hear it. But here's some Bus Driver for you. "Jumping through hoops as economy slump, vomiting the chunks cause the ambiance sucks, dangling clotheslines on elephant tusks, I can get it done." What? His verse is just so fucking fire. Like I said, probably my favorite P.O.S. verse on the album, but Bus just above and beyond. Holy shit. I got a couple black geniuses in the bullet train. Well done, bus driver. I would love another album from you, man. Get 8 is a strangely short moment on the album. I love the featured singer, Gerald. I think his voice is great, especially when he opens the track. It's just time in the day. He sounds really fucking cool. Beat on here is nice, kind of stripped back again, but the bass sounds really sick. And later on in the track, in come these super fuzzy synths again, which do sound great, but it's only about 1minute 15 seconds long, and it really sounds like there should be more there. It just kind of cuts off when Gerald comes back and sings the hook, and then it kind of ends. P.O.S. doesn't really say too much here, though his verse is nice. Again, he's got a wicked flow, but yeah, the thing that really drove this track for me was the singer. Roddy Piper, fortunately the track that kept my attention the least on the entire album, sadly, because it really isn't a bad track, I just couldn't stay invested. Though I do love the guitar here that goes that guitar line is fucking awesome. Just in the background, sounds great though. There's some fun bleeps and bloops through the background of the verses as well. And I am a sucker for good fuzz and distortion, which happens greatly on this track too. But again, it just really couldn't hold my attention. Even though Stef is spitting some shit on his verse. My name is Stef, I came depressing someone else's person. My name is P.O.S, I cut these fuckers, I'm a surgeon. I like that quite a bit. And I love the way he ends his verse. I came to do 2 things, and I'm out of bubblegum. Which is one of the better ways to use that cliched kick-ass and chew bubblegum line without even saying it, so props to that. I do like the hook here too. Again, him and the featured artist, Moncleus. Really hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, because I've never really heard of the guy before. Sorry, man. P.O.S. sings here again too, still sounds good. Fuck off, birds, I'm trying to sleep. Pretty much lists a bunch of things that are keeping him awake, and I think the hook just sounds really good. It's the best part of the track for me. Moncleus Boston's verse isn't that bad. Nothing super quotable from it, but he does sound good. He kind of actually sounds tired. Still flows alright. P.O.S.'s last verse too really doesn't have much, besides the fact I love where he says, I'm deaf and I'm telling you all that I heard it. That's kind of funny. But yeah, the only real pull away for this track for me was the hook. Thieves and Kings. Beautiful. Fucking beautiful. The production on this track, the little synth that opens the track, sounds so good. And when the percussion comes in on this track, oh, it just sounds so awesome. It's a very mournful sounding track, and P.O.S. just flows so gorgeously over this track. I love the hook again. We could live like kings. We could live like thieves. They're exactly the same thing. This is such a gorgeous track. Holy fucking shit. Oh my god, I love it. I love it. I love it. He's got some fucking awesome lines here. I have 2 really favorite lines on this track, and one of them is, skill in abundance, but hustle beats skill when skills don't hustle, and he goes, what's that from? Memes of daydreams. And he can't remember. I love that fucking line. And when he says, oh man, I could die in command if I wanted, but I won't though. That line is so fucking good. First time I heard the track, that's the line that stuck with me. I honestly don't know how to describe how much I love this track. Seriously. In fact, I'm gonna read you his whole second verse because it's a tribute to a friend of Doomtree's who I knew died, because I remember when he died, thanks to their social media. He was a filmmaker named Andre Durand. And this is what P.O.S. says about him here. Yeah, this one's for Andre Durand, a symbol of actual action, adventure, a quality man. Appallingly talented, fearless, and yeah, probably as careless as every last one of my very best friends. And gone way too soon. Risk that, fear that, whatever you choose. Beautiful. Actually, fucking beautiful. Of course, he sounds better saying it, so listen to this fucking track. Listen, please listen to this track. The piano that opens the next track, Infinite Scroll, reminds me of a flipped, reversed Runaway, the Kanye West song from My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I wonder if it is. It might be the sample, but they would have to change it a little bit because it doesn't sound exactly the same, but it sounds fucking beautiful. And then comes this super distorted keyboard, and then who opens the track but my favorite rapper, Open Mike Eagle. Again, a super spacey trap flavored beat here. We got heavy hi-hats again. And the way they use the synth here makes this super atmospheric, and Mike just sounds so great. Classic Mike, he's funny as fuck. He says he needs a referral from a different world. He says rain walrus under a pelt like Brother Bear, stone fragments trapped in airtight Tupperware. Mike is just one of the most clever rappers I've ever heard. The man is so fucking funny. He deserves way more credit than he's getting. Who's missing? The head count says -1. Dude, listen. Priest, my mouth is a science gun.
What?
Another sung P.O.S. course here, and it sounds fucking awesome. There's a nice little fuzzy synth that comes in on the hook too that, yes. Yes! And the second verse is done by someone I've never heard of before, Manchita, and she sounds great. I like when she says, throbbing in my back, I feel the earth beneath my feet. Life's not a beach, it's a rabid dog in heat. That line's fucking sick. goes, and I'm not your hostage, I'm hot potato, hash you out later. The way she says it just sounds fucking awesome. Her and Mike both have a lazier delivery on this track, which isn't taking away from it. It actually is framed very nicely when put up against P.O.S, who has a much more loud and exciting delivery when it gets to his verse. I also love the line where she says, save the fucking dolphins, you guys, while she's eating a tuna sandwich. And her last line, fire. Dead with the swelling of this particular winter's discontent. Awesome. And P.O.S, again, like I said, much more upbeat delivery than them. My favorite line from him here, he says, I'm a professional profession skipper, never been a jobber. Never had to quit anywhere to rock the stage. He never really had a job to begin with. He was always in bands growing up. And it worked out well for him. Here he is. I love when he says possibilities are literally limitless, but you got the screen a few inches from your face. That's what this whole song's about. I should have added how people use their phones way too much. And he's trying to talk to a girl. She's busy typing on her phone about some other girl. She's like bitching about someone. I like the last part where he says, only dramatic people utter no drama. That's funny to me. Again though, beautiful fucking track. I love hearing Mike on anything, so. From the second lanes opens, I'm singing already. Stuck in my space station. Every second, every sight I'll ever seen is just so far gone. This track was released as a single before the album, and fuck, I fell in love with it. I listened to it on repeat over and over and over and over again. Like every track on this album, percussion is at the forefront. It's louder than the rest of the beat. Again, happens on every track here. But we have in here a fuzzed out synth line that sounds fucking beautiful. And it's the part I follow in the beat the most. In fact, I hum it sometimes when I'm listening to the song because I love it so much. I like how here on this track he's talking about carving a different lane for himself because he's been in his own lane for so long. Or is it that he's been in his own way for so long? I love that line. The verse on here is sick, but it's the chorus that gets to me. I love the chorus. I sing it in my head all the time. Fucking a minute 50 of pure joy. This whole track is so fucking good. Probably my favorite on the album. The video is fucked up to all hell. Like, I have no idea what's going on in it. Check it out though, you really should. It's very strange. The fuzzy and wavy guitar that opens the track Gravedigger up against birds chirping in the background actually just sounds so good. It sets me up for a beautifully atmospheric track. Again, another beautiful piece of production on here. Trap flavored percussion again, lots of hi-hats, but they still sound super fucking pretty. P.O.S here, it's the softest that he goes. That's great. This track's kind of talking about working and trying to save money. The guitar line just fades in and out, and it just sounds so nice. I like the part where he says I should try to slow down and save a little cash, because in come these background vocals that go, slow down, slow down. And they sound really great. And on the hook here, P.O.S is singing again. Sounds great. I've been looking out the window. But then the beat gets really heavy with this fuzzy synth that comes in. And this heavy bass. And in comes the featured artist, Angelina. And she goes hard. She pretty much talks about how much of a struggle it is to fucking make any money. Talking about working 3 jobs. The only time she chases bread is when she has to eat. Her verse is fucking sick. P.O.S comes in again. Being aggressive again this time. He sounds, P.O.S is just, I'll just say it, he's a fucking flow master. He's got so many different flows that he can use. The track ends with the first single, Sleepdrone, Superposition. A 9-minute long fucking monolith masterpiece. Super fuzzy production behind this one. Driving synth. Percussion's a little lighter, but just still sounds fucking great. Lots of weird electronic sound effects and vocal ad-libs and shit. A lot of them coming from Kathleen Hanna, who had a huge featuring credit on this track. And it's one of P.O.S.'s most personal tracks, especially on this album. It's also one of his most aggressive that I've heard in a while. He has some great fucking lines where he says, Chris Dorner, I'm Dome Red Dirty off leash. I'm Mike Brown, I'm Eric Garner, I can't breathe. We're face down, our teeth are touching the concrete. They're curb stomping us, wearing a crown in our streets. Another great line he says, I know someone taught you that it's better to be hated, and I hate whoever taught you that. I'm happy to have learned from you. Hook on here, awesome, done by a few people, but mainly Kathleen Hanna's voice is what you can hear. Show up to shine, show me a sign. P.O.S.'s second verse. I try to write a note to everyone who came out and supported when my kidney couldn't clean up my poisonous blood, but I just stared at the page. And when I wrote it, I felt nothing but the numbing of cliche. It tasted nothing but batteries and iron all over my tongue. Word rusted in place. It just sounds so fucking great. I love that second verse. And then we have a host of features who all do great. My particular highlights are Hard R, who is P.O.S.'s son Jake. Give me all black weddings and an all white funeral. I like that. Lizzo also does a fantastic verse, and Astronautless is my favorite. I want your food to taste like poison till poison tastes like food. I want your job to feel like torture till you up and hit the road. I want to raise your fucking family out the ashes of this town. P.O.S. comes back in and it sounds like he's talking about a relationship ending. And then she ended only clean break ever, and I love her more now probably cause of that. In the Black. This song is so fucking good. This is the song that pumped me for the album, man. I was so fucking stoked after I heard this. I listened to this when it first came out, repeat, over and over and over again. My whole 40-minute walk home as many times as I could listen to it. It's such a good fucking track. So, finally was able to ramble about P.O.S.'s Chill Dummy. Love the name. I quite enjoyed this album. Not going to be one of my all-time favorites of the year, I don't think, but I really did enjoy it. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. If you like Doomtree, you'll love this. If you like P.O.S., you'll love this. Even if you're a fan of strange experimental rap, I think you'll enjoy this. Especially with the way the production flows. You might not if you're a fan of Audition or Never Better and the kind of production he had there. If We Don't Even Live Here turned you off a bit, this isn't gonna switch your allegiance back, I should say. But it still was a pretty good album. At least I enjoyed listening to it. Next two albums I want to review are Migos and Train. I feel like I'm not going to enjoy listening to either of those. But I digress. Let me know if there's anything I can do to improve myself in the comments. I know I stole that from Spectrum Pulse. I don't give a fuck. I think it's a brilliant thing to say. And thank you so much for watching if you made it this far. Peace out. Go listen to some fucking P.O.S. You piece of shit.